Good afternoon or welcome to the Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez, and let's start by taking a look at how cryptocurrencies have performed this morning. Now, Bitcoin is at 43,847. It's up 0.82%. We've got Ethereum, which is at 3,120.49. It's up 3.49%. Now, from cryptocurrency markets, we pivot to taking a look at how regional stock markets are performing. And we'll start with the Straits Times Index in Singapore, which is at 3,423.27. It's up 0.06%. Across the region, we've got the KLSE, which is at 1,600.04. It's up 0.03%. Shanghai is at 3,468.41. It's up 0.65%. The ASX Ordinaries is at 7,570.10. It's up 1.07%. The Nikkei is up sharply. It's at 27,441.5. It's up 2.15%. The Hang Seng is at 24,711. It's up 1.46%. And rounding up the numbers, we've got the Kospi, which is at 2,726.75. It's up 1.9%. Now, let's start by taking a look at some of the headlines from this morning. China's consumer price index for January rose 0.9% compared to a year ago, according to official data released this morning. Russia's government announced that Moscow is starting to return some troops at the Ukrainian border, though NATO chief warned that the military alliance has so far not seen any signs of de-escalation on the ground from the Russian side. Now, in today's news, shares in Asia Pacific rose in today's trade as tensions appear to ease between Russia and Ukraine, boosting markets. Meanwhile, the investors reacted to weaker than expected Chinese inflation data. Now, Japan's Nikkei 225 jumped 2.06 in afternoon trade, leading gains among the region's major markets, while the Topix index gained 1.56%. Now, in mainland China, the Shanghai Composite rose 0.69%, while the Shenzhen Component climbed 0.558. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index advanced 1.27%. Now, China's Consumer Price Index for January rose 0.9% as compared to a year ago, slightly lower than expectations in the Reuters poll for a 1% increase. China's producer inflation for January was also below expectations. The producer index for January rose 9.1% compared to a year earlier, which was lower than expectations in a Reuters poll for a 9.5% increase. Over in South Korea, the Kospi advanced 1.65%, and elsewhere in Australia, the S&P ASX 200 rose 0.79%. MSCI's broadest index of Asia Pacific shares outside of Japan traded 1.01 higher. Now, overnight on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 422.67 points, up to 34,988.84, while the S&P 500 climbed 1.58% to 4.471.07. Now, the Nasdaq Composite surged 2.53% to 14,139.76. Next, we take a look at rates, currencies, and commodities. The US dollar index, which tracks the greenback against a basket of its peers, was at 96.057 against an earlier low of 95.955. The Japanese yen traded at 115.68 per dollar, still weaker than levels below the 115.2 seen against the greenback earlier this week. The Australian dollar was at 0.715, largely holding gains after bouncing from below 0.71 earlier this week. Oil prices were lower, with international benchmark crude futures down 0.13% to $93.16 a barrel. Now, US crude futures were below the flat line, trading at 92.05 per barrel. Now, that's it for the Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. You can check this video and podcast on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our various social media platforms. Please check out, like, and subscribe to our website and various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.